stated, the World Court, that there is very clear action that can be taken, including stopping new exploration and exploitation. Not at all now is not possible new fossil fuel explorations and exploitation. So that's a huge, huge statement, because it has said that it is illegal. And we're still hearing that they want to start something now in Brazil, next to one of the most important rivers in the world, the Amazon, a new exploration project. I will be very willing to challenge that, because the World Court has already spoken. And like that, there are many, many things. I mean, there's so much to do, because the law is our best friend. And I think what is wonderful is that ordinary people have realized that they have power. And the book is about telling people, you have power. And about what you were asking me, I think cultural aspects are very, very important. In the Torres Strait case, clearly was a crucial point that I argued. And it was because, you see, one of my clients said, how can I teach my children how to be a Masiwanalman in another man's land? Because that was linked to the land. So our sense of humanity is linked to all these cultural connections with the land. And that's why they couldn't be the same if they were uprooted, because their ancestors are a part of the land. You know, the trees, everything has a history that is not just human. We, the dead, have been already become part of the land. So it's all very magic, and at the same time, very clear that we are connected with not just our fellow human beings, but we are connected with the birds, we are connected to the species in the sea. So that was the reality of the Torres Strait. So for me, those cultural aspects are extremely important, and every case, obviously, it's different in itself. I've been just working on a case concerning Wales, where the country, and the cultural aspects are fascinating me. And I'm thinking that, there is, that's on the fabric of life. That's what I love about my job as a lawyer, that I become in contact with fascinating worlds as a consequence. Over there, yes. Mm-hmm.
Monica, thank you very much for your brilliant pioneering work in this field. Fantastic. I just wondered, you were talking earlier about precedents that are set by judgments in one country that you're in an almost unique position to be able to use across the world. And I wondered how many British courts have made judgments that you've been able to use. And as an example, I wondered about the Surrey Hills Supreme Court judgment last year, which seemed to me, in my understanding, that to fundamentally question the legality of extracting fossil fuels from the earth. Have you been able to use that elsewhere in the world?
Oh, I think I live in Surrey. I couldn't believe, not in that part, but I couldn't believe that that could possibly be the aspiration, because it's an area of outstanding beauty that such a project could, exist. When I listened to the hearings, I was deeply touched. I practiced in a commercial bar. And listening to a commercial judge asking the most amazing questions. This was the case in the Supreme Court. And it was, very importantly, it was taken by ordinary people. Because the challenge was not by an NGO, no, it was by crowdfunding. People took it and lost and took it all the way to the Supreme Court to challenge the project. And what was moving is that it won. And with that, it really clarified the law. So that was the first thing, and it moved me deeply to see that there is capacity to reason. And that's why I have faith, and also separation of powers. The judiciary was independent and analyze things. The question of this judge, to me, were absolutely. You go to the theater to see things. I listen to court proceedings. It fascinates me. I was so proud of the outcome because basically the key question was this: when you do the project, should you just take into account the contribution toward the emissions of the actual building of the project? That's what I said. The company said, yes, that's all what you measure. Or should you measure as well the contribution of the project to the emissions when you sell the product and that product is burnt? And they said, no, but that's burnt by other people that buy the oil, but that's not us. That's them. So very cleverly transferring that responsibility to all of you. And the court said no. The court said that's your responsibility as well, and that is also measured. That's the scope 3 of measuring the impact. That assertion, it was crucial because that's the real impact. And only now in this country we have that clearly. Before there were other cases that were like the Heathrow extension that were very sad in the outcome, but I think that the courts are just showing that they're capable to deal properly with this type of cases. So I think I haven't. Now the law has advanced even more. I mentioned the World Court saying something even stronger, which is all these, is all these projects now, fossil fuel projects that are new, that you don't even need to make environmental assessment. Period. It's illegal. You can't do that. We already know the accumulation is too high. That's it. So I haven't had, therefore, the need to use the Supreme Court case. But I think the lesson that we get is actually very, very important, and also the scope 3 aspect, I think, is going to affect a lot the responsibility of companies. So it's every single step is absolutely necessary. I think all these decisions are really the ones that are marking the path towards civilization. Yeah, we can take one more. Anyone? What happened with the women asking questions? Usually they're more interested. Oh, okay.
Monica, thank you again for your presentation this evening. You've said a number of things like it's about philosophy, it's about cases, it's about proving what's happening. I think the man in the street in every single country in the population of the world understands that we have a climate and environmental issue. But they're subjected to messaging coming from all kinds of valued people who are working like yourself together. Do you ever see a case where all of that expertise, there might be 1 million lawyers like you who are doing what you're doing, all comes together and the terrifying situation that the Earth is facing becomes a major, because it's not what you say, it's how people respond.
Yeah, I think that's happening. I think that you see, all what we've been talking is really about the same, because the climate crisis, the biodiversity crisis, all these different crises have the same feature, which is our wrong relationship with the Earth. And when we have a law that only protects and only focuses on the perspective of what serves human beings, and also in a very peculiar way, because I don't think that it serves human beings to have polluted rivers. But treating land and treating nature as something to exploit, I think when you have that in law and in practice, I mean, the end is going to be where we are. And so we already reached a wall there. And what I clearly see is the need to have a non-anthropocentric approach, to accept the important value of nature itself, to entreat that in our law. And I think that there is this strong coming together of a lot of people. 3 years or 4 years ago, I was the first one that wrote something on that, little, here in the UK. Today, there are lots of people, lots of barristers as well, that have become all of a sudden interested. And I can see that it's going to grow and grow very fast, not only here, in other parts of the world. And that is very important. And with that, I also see people interested in protecting what they love most. And that gives me hope as well. So I'm sharing with them, with you all, some ideas in my book, but I think that it is a collective step. It's about us, about humanity, and about being humble, and about wanting to embrace the earth as part of us, and commune, and have a different direction, which is possible. So in 1982, we had a different trajectory that embraced and respected Earth. Let's give back that dignity to Earth. I believe that just like we human beings have the right to dignity, everything that is alive has dignity. When you see a river that is full of rubbish and the dump of plastic and bottles, it revolts me. I feel, don't they realize this river has dignity and this bit of sea has dignity? So I think everything deserves that, and because anything to come to be, such a long process for that to happen. Is some kind of honoring that. Is still honoring that process that the code is so. Come on, to have that wonderful shape and wonderful colors and wonderful existence. It's a long process. Shouldn't we look at it with respect? So I hope that the book can give you lots of ideas, and thank you very much for being part of this discussion today. I'm really, really grateful. And I came to Manchester on purpose. I told my publicist, I want to go to Manchester, I don't want to be discussing this just in London. So I'm very glad I came tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. We are even more glad that you came here this evening. Thanks also to Manchester Museum, thank you Esme, thanks to Manchester Literature Festival. Please go buy a copy of this incredible book, and if you have the means to do so, buy an extra copy and give it to someone who hasn't read it, a friend, a family member, a stranger on the train. I think we should all buy books for other people as well that we don't know. Please do that if you can. And also, the Manchester Literature Festival carries on until the 26th. There's already been a host of incredible events, and there are still more coming up, including, as poets, I feel biased towards saying this is a fantastic poetry mosaic event tomorrow, featuring Roger Robinson, Mona Archie and many others. You can find all the details in the programme. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the questions, but most of all, huge thank you to Monica Feria Tinta. Thank you.